Hey everyone, I'm Chelsea with Savannah Ren Studio, and today I wanted to go into the basics of what makes up a tarot card deck. So, when it comes to a deck, usually you have two specific types of cards. You have the Major Arcana, which is labeled usually 0 to 21, 22. And goes from the Fool all the way to Judgment in the World. And so these usually follow a very straight pattern of the hero's journey by Joseph Campbell. And they, most decks have similar themes with regards to these cards. The other side of the deck is called our the other section of the deck is called the Minor Arcana, and they represent more similar to a playing deck of cards. You have 4 suits, you have wands, cups, swords, and pentacles, or some version of that and they're always linked to the 4 elements. And then within each section, you go from ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus the page of that suit, the knight of that suit, the queen, and the king, which is similar to, Jack, king, queen, but adding in that 4th one. And every single one of these cards has a different meaning and a different interpretation. And depending on what type of reader you are, you might be the type that only reads cards right side up, so looking like this, where the card is reading this is the top and this is the bottom toward you. Or you might be the type of reader that reads them interchangeably depending on the spread and how many cards you're pulling. You might read them as being, this one is currently up because this is the top of the card and this is the bottom. Whereas this card over here, the top is down here and the bottom is up here. And so we say that this one is reversed, that this one right here is reversed. And so when a card is reversed, it has a completely different meaning than its right side up interpretation. And that's one of the ways that tarot cards and tarot decks in general and tarot readings tend to be complicated and complex, and it really relies on the interpretations, the energies, and archetypes that are felt not only by the reader, but also by the person that you're reading for. So if I was doing a reading and my client had come up with these 2 cards, I would ask them, what do they see in these images? Maybe they see a dancing man, juggling. How does that affect you? How do you draw that into your life? What does that kind of theme mean to you? This one here, I might ask, how do you feel about Schmendrick's position of his hands and of his face compared to Molly Grew's, and their body language, as well as the wreath with the pentacle above it and the background image of a road traveling. And then after they've given me, kind of what they're seeing and what's really standing out to them in the images, the cards, I then give them my interpretation, not only what's standing out to me with the images, but also information about the general card interpretations. One of the most important things that you can have that usually comes with your deck is some sort of card interpretation guidebook. Now, it's not necessary that you use the guidebook, but when you're first working with your cards, it can be helpful to, just read through some of the information per card. So for instance, in this deck, it gives a general information discussion about the imagery for this specific card, and I've just happened to open it to Seven of Wands, as well as an interpretation of what it means if you draw it right side up. On the other page, it gives information about what happens and what it means if you draw the card reversed. Because as I said, they're two completely different interpretations when you have them one way or the other. I could create an entire hour-long presentation about each card and each interpretation, but I'm not going to worry you with that at this moment. What I did want to just bring up was that when you're learning tarot or you're going to someone that does tarot readings, that there are two different aspects to the deck. The Major Arcana, which is about those archetypal journeys. And then you have the Minor Arcana, which is more about daily life and daily conditions that we may encounter as part of our human experience. And on top of that, not only do you have a upright interpretation of the cards, you also have that reverse interpretation, which adds to the complex information that is being communicated by your reader, by yourself, and by the universe. So I hope you found this video informative and that you came out learning a little bit more about tarot decks. If you enjoyed this video, like, maybe share, possibly subscribe if you enjoy my content. Otherwise, I highly recommend that you go check out my social media platforms under Savannah Wren Studio. Check out my website, www.savannahwrenstudio.com. You can contact me for consultations as well as services and my prices. And if you are interested in supporting me and getting access to exclusive content, consider heading over to my Patreon page at Savannah Wren Studio. It's there that I create a supportive community with access to different types of content that is exclusive to my Patreons. So until next time, I'm Chelsea with Savannah Wren Studio, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you, friends.